how's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing great. So I'll be going live in a minute, right? Are you trying too hard to manifest it? This may be the live for you. This may help you get some of the bugs out and change up your approach to manifesting. So, are you someone who is struggling with creating what you want? Maybe are you trying too hard to manifest it? I think 90%, yeah, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna say about 90% of us make that mistake. Even if you think you're doing it right, I can guarantee most of us are doing it kind of wrong. Hello everyone. Good to see you on the live, Dora. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself this question, you know. What is trying too hard? Can anyone tell me what trying too hard is? Because I'm gonna shock you. Trying too hard, we have a conception, but probably most of it is a misconception. When you want to like manifest, when you want to create or use your imagination, use your mind, use the power that you have, interfere with the quantum field to bring into Newtonian reality. What is trying too hard to manifest? Someone says, think about it all the time without letting go. Well, you have to think about your desires. You're going to create resistance, yes. So see, those are the common things, but have you considered this? Thinking about it too much, right? Have you considered that the reason it's not coming to form for you, or the reason you're getting missed signals, or the reason you're not seeing a shift, could it be because, oh, someone said a key word, could it be because you make that thing a fantasy? You make it bigger than you. Look, check this out. If you're gonna create anything in your life, the bottom line is it cannot be a fantasy or an important thing. It just can't. It has to be a regular thing, like air you're breathing. Like when you walk outside and you open your door, do you think to yourself, man, I hope the oxygen gets into my lungs. I hope my blood descrambles the oxygen, turn it into carbon dioxide. I hope the cells in my body work to promote so I can breathe in and out. Do anybody do that? Nobody does that. You go outside, you breathe in, you breathe out. The cellular functions of your body is adapted to the environment. That's the same thing with manifesting anything, whether money, the lottery, or anything. It's the same function. A system has already been set in place for you to achieve it. What happens is it's our perception of the thing, and the big culprit is our mind, our ego. See, our ego is the one that will say, man, I don't know if I can get it. Is it possible? I've been doing it for years. Nothing's happened in months. Am I doing it too much? See, it's just like you going into talking to yourself saying, hey, are you creating the correct oxygen level? Make sure the correct carbon dioxide is being pushed back out so the plants can use it to make photosynthesis. Do you say any of that stuff? Nah. Why don't you say any of that stuff? Because in the seed of creation, in the seed of manifesting, the formula and the blueprint has already been placed in there. So if you're overthinking and you're making something fantasy and bigger than you, now you see you're making a big mistake because it's already been created. That's a lot of people suffer from that. I used to suffer from that. When I was playing a lottery, I would look at this lottery as this huge thing. It was bigger than me. It was like, man, it'd be great to win that money and buy my car. And man, wouldn't it be great if I win again and just keep winning? And it was just this big thing, man, that consumed me because I wanted it so bad, because I convinced them. I was putting this picture in my mind, man, and my ego started buying the game. It's like, yeah, man, it's gonna be, man, you know how hard it is, Mark, to win. Da da da. You know the odds, man. See, all that started to play, and I started to make this thing bigger than me, man. And I was like, whoa. I started meeting a lot of resistance that way. Then I figured it out. I was like, okay. So how did I figure it out? Well, I had a epiphany. So I'll get some questions. I had an epiphany. The epiphany was, wait a minute. All of this stuff is my perception. If it's my perception, it's the way I look at it. If it's the way I look at it, it becomes physical reality. So all of this is really coming through me, so I have the power. So why don't I change it up? Why don't I make this thing smaller than me? Why don't I just approach it like it's a natural thing, like it's going to happen? And that's what happened. See, now I stopped trying hard. Look, I'm going to give you 3 formulas, 3 secrets. And I made a video on this. I'll put it up on Tuesday, but I'll put it again so you can see it. Look, there's 3. You have to have these 3 things. I'm going to say right now. If you don't have them, start cultivating them. If you have them, good job. Because they're the keys to your success. Here they are. Whenever things are going to come into our Newtonian world, when I call Newtonian world, I'm talking physical world. We perceive with physical sensations. When things are going to come into your world and manifest, you have to have these 3 traits. Faith, patience, and belief. Faith, patience, belief. FPB. If you don't have, you could have 2 of these, it ain't gonna work. If you don't have all 3, it ain't gonna work. Sorry, if you have all 3, it's gonna work. If you have 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3, it don't work like that. Okay? Faith, patience, and belief. So let's break them down, what they are to manifest them, right? Because you hear people talk about it all the time. FPB. Tattoo that on your arm, write that on your dream board. Watch it all the time, because that is the secret formula for everything in life. Manifest a business, a money, a partner, health, wealth. Those 3 components, if you cultivate them, so let's talk about them. And this is what makes manifesting easy now, if you can cultivate these things. Let's go with faith first. Now, the interesting thing about faith has been around longer than religion. A matter of fact, spirituality has been around before religion. Religion came to the party late. Human beings thousands of years ago didn't have religion. They didn't know what Christianity was. There was no organized structure in the world. These were people in groups, isolation, living in different tribal regions and different communities. And they all had one thing in common. They knew that there was something spiritual about where they came from. These human beings were always seeking, where do we come from? What are we? And then for some reason, they would always connect with themselves. They would do meditation. They would look into themselves. It's not until religion came along that took you away from that and started to show you that, well, don't look into yourself. Look into this man. Look into this God I made for you. Look into that. So with that being said, before religion, faith was the ability for human beings to dream, to expect, to know it would come based on a spiritual being about themselves. Every single human being have this innate ability to understand that they are the creator of their world. That's what faith is. Now, cultivating faith is a different thing now. So you have to cultivate, all of you have faith, but many of you don't know how to cultivate it. That's the secret now. So how do I cultivate faith, Mark? Here's how you cultivate faith. As a matter of fact, here's how you cultivate all 3. It's called your imagination. So if you're someone who can't see images, you can write. So let me show you how this works. So if I sit here every day and let's say I want a new home. And every day if I sit and I go into my imagination and I think about that new home as a regular thing now, not bigger than me. what's going to happen? My faith is going to be built, because now every day I think about it, my subconscious is going to get more confident that it's going to happen. Now my conscious mind, I have no clue how, but I just know it must happen. I am building faith now. My mind is starting to buy into my routine. And then the next part comes now with the belief, because once the faith is built, the belief follows it. See, faith follows belief. So I have those two components, see? By repetition, every day, over and over. My unconscious gets it. Now, patience, I have to go up into my ego to develop patience now. I can't develop patience with my higher mind. It doesn't work. I have to develop patience with my awareness mind. Bingo! That's where a lot of you struggle. Now, practically all of you struggle. So, I had to go and cultivate my ego to develop patience. That's something you have to work on. So how did I develop patience? I can tell you one thing, it wasn't easy. Patience wasn't easy, because I'm bombarded around a matrix or a world that's conceptualized with time. Everything is like fast, a certain amount of time. We have the years, the months, and then you constantly hear people talking about time. Whoa, man, the day go by so fast. This is everything is time. You got to do this at the time. Every time there's everything has a certain time factor to it. So it becomes really difficult to escape that. But I did escape it, and you can escape it, because I realized again, an epiphany came to me again. Just keep getting these epiphanies. The epiphany came to me when I realized, wait a minute, 365 days, 12 hours, 24 hours, 1 year, 2 year. Like, where was all of this before humanity came? Where was all of this before a structure? It's like, none of this existed, man. This is a make-up world. We made that up. It's like, damn. So the time thing too, it's not even real, man. So I'm playing a game that's not even real. It's like, damn. So the epiphany said, Mark, just get out the game. Yes, you said it correct, Matt. Live in the moment. And that's when everything started to click. Because over what you call time, I noticed that when something happens, it's happening right now. It didn't happen next week. It didn't happen. It happened now. And I was like, man, it's like, that's what I have to do. And then patience became so easy for me now. Because even now, man, I'm so brainwashed that I don't see the world in like a year or months or anything. I see my world now in like screenshots of moments. It's like I'm a continuous moment. I see the world to me now is like if you're watching a movie and then you see the frames, and if you slow it down, the frames are like going slow motion, boom, 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 boom. There's no speed going anymore for me. So I'm not speeding up now. So now time doesn't affect me now. So I'm constantly in the present moment. And if I'm not constantly in the present moment, I can see things more clearly. I can have more insight. You know, I can have more belief in my faith, right? Saint of the beloved, I believe I won 3 million Friday. I'm nervous to check my ticket. I don't want to use resistance. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why if you believe it, check it, man. It's remember, it's not bigger than you. Money is nothing, man. Money is just a concept we made up. 3 million, 10 million, it's the same thing. You know, remember this, guys. Money doesn't make you happy. Trust me. It doesn't make you happy. It gives you the tools to cultivate happiness. You can cultivate, but happiness comes to you. Don't get me wrong now. I mean, money helps, man. But I don't want you to think like, man, I get this money, man, my problems are solved. Matter of fact, sometimes your problems get worse because it reveals your ego now. So you gotta remember that. So, and the thing, that's the same thing with like money, right? With manifesting, you gotta make everything like just a regular thing. Don't get into the fantasy stuff. Yeah, nothing is bigger than you. Nothing, no one. Hi from South Africa. Yeah. So if you are struggling, that may be your very issue right there. You may be trying too hard by fantasizing or versus visualizing. See? You didn't know that, right? See, a lot of us, we have the big tools, the resistance, and then thinking about it too much. But we tend to forget, man, that we are the creator. You know, never got it, right? Said it, right? Law, the law of assumption, right? That's about a feeling state. And I'm going to talk more about that on Tuesday. I made a video explaining it. But you guys have to understand, and this is something that you need to know. And it's to the contrary of what they put out in the world. Nothing comes into your world without you having some interaction or say in it. I want you to think about that. I didn't say everything you control, but I say most, about 70 to 80% of what you experience, what you think you deserve, what you have, all came through your subconscious mind. Your own mind was given permission before you even realized it, not your regular mind. So the bottom line is, you are the creator or the sayer of what's going to happen in your physical world. So if you think about that, why would you make anything bigger than you or fantasy? Well, because you were trained through the matrix. You were trained by your ego to believe that. And that's where the struggle comes in. It comes in with the ego. It comes in with how our society works. It comes in with labels they put on things. And they put different degrees of difficulty on things. And then they put science on stuff. And they put calculations, and they put things that they can't experiment, or things that they can't validate. If I can't validate, if I can't experiment, it doesn't happen, doesn't exist. You know, all that is untrue. And because of that, our minds get into what we call logical structural beings. And that logic and that structure is what creates the fantasy, and the fantasy is what stops you from getting what you want. Because look, here's the bottom line. Your mind cannot give you something that is normal to you. Can't give it to you. If it's something that's fantasy, sorry, your mind can only give you something that's normal. If it's something fantasy, your mind cannot give it to you, because fantasy doesn't exist in the subconscious or higher mind. Fantasy is something we conjure up through our ego. Is a thing we see and we visualize it, and we think we visualize it. Right? So if your mind says, man, I mean, you want that business, you want that, I'm trying to give it to you, but I don't even know where you are. You're not, it's not normal to you anymore. See, you lose the vibration and the harmony. It's all about a harmony. So, but if I take something and I bring it down to my level, and I look at it like, you know, that's all it is that, you know, that's easy. I can get that. I know what I want. I visualize. So the next question I have is, do you know the difference between visualizing and fantasizing? Are you visualizing, or are you really fantasizing when you visualize? Can anyone tell me the difference? Because maybe some of you are making that mistake too. So there's another bug you can clear up, because you definitely want to get that. I bet you a lot of you are fantasizing and think you're visualizing. That's right, World Bridger. Make the extraordinary ordinary. There's no extraordinary, just ordinary. So no one knows the difference between fantasizing. So let me show you if you're fantasizing or if you're correctly visualizing. So look, if you are fantasizing, you're going to have some sort of image in your mind of nervousness, anxiousness. You're going to get a little bit of happiness, but you're also going to feel some regret of, what if I don't get it? That's when you're fantasizing. When you're visualizing, none of that will come in. When you're visualizing, you're in pure imagination mode. You're in pure fun mode. You're in pure mode because you're doing it because it just makes me feel good. You're in mode like, wow, what would it look like to have that? You're in a mode of, yeah, this is normal. You're in a mode, it's like you're watching something that's already been created. Like, I'm watching what I've already created. That's visualizing. Fantasizing is watching something that hasn't been created. So now you're unsure. It's like, oh man, I would love to get that. Guys, think about it. Why they inundate the word fantasy? Like, it's my fantasy. When someone says it's my fantasy, what are they really saying? Think about the language they're saying. Man, that's my fantasy. It means that, I'll translate for you what it means. Man, that's what I want, but I can't get it, and I know I can't get it, so I'm just gonna dream and play myself and hope one day I get it. That's what a fantasy is. That's what you're saying to your subconscious mind. Yeah, man, it's my fantasy to manifest, my fantasy to win. You're telling your subconscious mind, I don't want to win this. I can't do this. It's bigger than me. Yeah, geez, I wish I would look up to have it, but I'm not going to lay my hopes down. See that? So there's words you got to take out of your vocabulary. That's fantasy is one of those words, man. You would never know that, though, because the Matrix in your world puts a lot of fantasies around you. See that? You got to remember, there's going to be two different languages at play here. There's going to be the surface level language, and then it's going to be the action level language, which is your subconscious. Your subconscious interpretates words different than you and I. I'll give you some example. I said this. Chase. Someone says to me, man, Mark, what if my name is Chase? That if your name is Chase, it's you know it's a knowing thing. It's like, but what I'm speaking about, someone says, man, I gotta chase my dream, man. I gotta go chase that money. I gotta chase that goal. You know what the language is to your subconscious when you say chase? Man, I gotta keep that away from me, man. I don't want that. I can't have that because it's running away. Remember, when you if you're chasing something, it means it's running. Otherwise, you wouldn't be chasing. That's the language code to your subconscious. But in the Matrix, they give you this: go chase your dreams, go chase your goals, go chase all of that stuff. He's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go chase my dreams, man. I'm gonna chase my fantasy. And all along, in your regular mind, it sounds all good and honky-dory, and like, yeah, man, I'm gonna motivate myself. But I just told you there's two languages going on: the surface level, the action one. The action one is the one more important because that's the one that's gonna bring things into your world. So you go ahead and you do that stuff, and guess what happens? You're like, man, it's like nothing. Why things are running away from me? Why is like I'm meeting resistance? I'm chasing my dreams. I'm fantasizing. I'm pushing. I'm working. I'm doing the stuff, man. I'm motivated, man. Yeah. You are. All that's in your lower mind, though. It's in your ego. You can't do anything there. Your subconscious mind. Here's what's going on in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is saying, oh man, I'm staying away from that. I'm allergic to that. We're running away from the money. We're running away from our success. It's literally doing that to you. That's why you create self-sabotage. You set yourself up by your own self. There's a lot you got to learn. There's a lot out there to learn. There's a lot that you have to unlearn. And I'm just giving you, that's just a small example of the languages. Look how subtle those are. And you would never know, because every day we're being inundated with those things. We see them in our television. We see them in our social media feed. We see them on TV. We see them in music. Songs and lyrics are talking about that stuff, right? So that's another reason you may be struggling, because we're given the wrong codes to our unconscious mind. Look, everything, you have to keep in mind that you have two different ways of communication. Surface level communication, which is the language we talk against each other, it's not the same as subsurface level or subconscious communication. So you got to understand, like, what the languages I'm using, is it the same as my subconscious? You know something about your subconscious, it cannot process a negative. The mind can't process negative. Okay? So you have to think about, okay, man, what do I want to say? So how do you fix all that? So it's what the easy fix is, guys? You don't have to get complicated and watch your words. Like, man, Mark, I gotta really watch what I say. I gotta the stuff I'm talking, man. No, you don't have to do any of that. Here's all you have to do if you want to fix. One language is what we use with words to talk to each other so we can get understanding. English, Spanish, whatever your native language is, you can understand that. The subconscious language is this. All I do is I talk to my subconscious, not in language, in images, in pictures. So my subconscious will get what I want. I repeat that. I don't talk to my subconscious in language. I talk to it in pictures. Because when I talk to it in pictures or images or imagination, I already know what's going to happen. So I cut out all the thing about chasing and fantasizing. I don't look at any. I just go in my mind and I see what I want. I see myself doing it normally now. Just like I got to get up and go to the post office. I got to get up, go to the grocery store. I got to get up, go do this. I got to get up and come do a live. I got to get up and go do a video. See how normal that is to me? That's how I approach everything with a picture. If you can't see a picture, you can write it. Is it possible for people to see synchronicity but experience lack? Yeah. It's possible because, again, two different mindsets going on. See, the thing about the universe is it's a coded word. You're always going to see like signs. You got to look at the universe like a road. Every road you go on, there is going to be a direction, a sign. Right? So the universe is always full of signs. They are signs. They are not your manifestation. You got to get the difference now. People struggle with this too. People see synchronicities and forget that they are just signs leading you to your manifestation. We get caught up in the synchronicity and we don't look at the bigger picture of what the synchronicity is telling you what to do and where to focus. For example, someone will see 77 and 888 and they just focus on the 7s and 888, but they don't focus on the bigger picture that the universe is telling them that, hey, there's imminent abundance coming. Chill, relax, let it go, continue. It's going to happen any moment. See, they just focus, the 7 and they kind of lose their thought. So appreciate the signs, but that's all they are, guys. They are not the end goal. They're leading you to the end goal. You got to remember that. It's important to change the subconscious belief, but it is also important to let what? To let it talk through dreams. That way you can understand and better work with it. Yeah, that's true, but a lot of people can't understand their dreams, and a lot of people don't remember their dreams, and a lot of people, when they do remember their dreams, they can't decipher the dreams. But your subconscious do talk to you in dreams, and most of the stuff your subconscious will talk to you in dreams is trauma stuff or deep emotional stuff about yourself. And if you can decipher them, then you can fix them. But that's correct. It does talk to you. If you are a person that's very observant or connected with your mind and your body, then you can definitely interpret in dreams. Like me, I'm very connected with my mind, body, and dreams. I can interpret dreams, and I interpret dreams for a lot of people. On the podcast, you come on Quantum Chosen One podcast, I interpret dreams, questions, all that stuff. So check that podcast out, Quantum Chosen Ones, guys. We tape every what Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. But you can learn to interpret the dreams too, because your mind works the same as mine. Right? Is it good when you see images of success in your mind and then you get emotional and cry? Yeah, that's good. That's your communication. That's your mind and body talking to you. When it happens, if you see success and you're crying, it's your subconscious really accepting that it's true. And the next step now is the faith, the patience, and the belief. We tend to forget that when things are going to manifest, it has to go through a process. And I will say this again. If you go into the store and you buy a seed for an apple tree or a seed for a mango tree, two different seeds with two different DNA components, they're both small. If you put the mango seed in the dirt it's not going to become an apple tree. It's going to become a mango tree. If you put the apple tree in the dirt, it's not going to become a mango. It's going to become an apple. What's the difference? Before everything, the seed of life, the information, the codex or the qubits was placed before all of this. You can't change it. It was written already in the universe. It was stamped from the beginning. So okay, so you put it in the earth. And now I'm sure you walk around and you see apple trees. They get big and mango trees. Imagine that big mango tree, that big apple tree was this tiny little seed. What gave it the power? The dirt. Within the dirt has nutrients, bacteria that developed to ferment, to cultivate the seed. You know what the dirt is? The dirt is your faith. The dirt is your belief. That's what makes it grow, just like in the regular dirt. So what happens now, when they put the seed in there, it actually communicates with the bacteria and the nutrients in the earth. And they go and talk to each other. And they talk to each other, they start to grow. And then after a little while, it grows big, 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 and then boom. The same process with how we take from quantum into the Newtonian world. The dirt, your dirt or your fertilizer is your faith and your belief and your patience. That's why I say, if you don't have it, it's not going to work. And I give you an example. Let's use the analogy again. I take a mango tree, 2 mango seeds, okay? And I put them in one soil. And the soil I put them in has a lot of nutrients. That mango tree is going to grow fast. The other soil I put it in doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it. It's missing faith. It has patience, it has belief, but it doesn't have faith in there. You think it's going to grow fast? No. So I put them together, I watch them grow. You know which the one that has all the correct nutrients? Boom. The other one, it's going to be stuck. It's going to be stuck. Right? You know, you got to understand something about who you are and everything. Let me show you something. How powerful. What I want to show you, and this is what I've learned, and this is why from now when I do stuff, I don't let anything bother me or worry about anything anymore. Because I know everything was already set up for me by me to be successful in whatever I do. It was like the game was over before the game even started. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to use your body. I'm going to talk about your body. Okay, I'm going to talk about your immune system. Many of you hear of immune system. But your body is so complicated and so sophisticated. Like you are a body of bacteria. Thousands of millions of years of evolution, these bacteria, they live in your gut. And they create your immune system. You have leukocytes, phagocytes, got all the different parts. You got different parts of the immune system. And what happens is, when an invader comes in, the immune will recognize it. And there is an automatic system that knows exactly what to do. They communicate to each other through chemicals. And they'll say, all right, let's go get that guy. They'll copy the DNA of the invader. And they'll store it. So the next time that invader comes in, they remember it. So that's why you don't get sick. If you get sick before, and then if you try to get sick again, you recover faster because they have a copy of that. How does all of that happen? Who programmed that? How did that develop so sophisticated? Well, some of you may say, "Oh, Marcus, God is this You don't know that, man. It's a God." Let me tell you what it is. It's how things were set up from the beginning. There is an intelligence that binds everything together. That's what I call God. Not the God that sits up and judge, but a God that is organized and has everything already set to bloom. You see it in the seed, you plant it. You see it in the air you breathe. So I'm showing you that everything from the day, the Big Bang, from the day you were created, you're a bing, bing, bing. The code of success was already implanted in you. There's nothing you need to do to really the only thing you have to do is just to allow it by developing faith, patience, and belief. But see, you couldn't do that stuff because you live in a world that doesn't teach that. That's against that. That teaches you to use your analytical mind to go against the grain. I'll give you an example. What it is. It's like you live in a world that they know the soil will have the nutrients. What they do, instead of teaching you to build your soil with more nutrients, they teach you to denutrize your soil and teach you to use chemical stuff, fake stuff they create. So now you get confused. I gotta use fertilizer now. See, look at how we live. We gotta use fertilizer because the soil has been so depleted. It's very hard to find your organic stuff unless you live on the land or you can grow your own stuff. See what I'm showing you? It's the same process with your mind. So you get taken away from understanding that, just like your body. I'm gonna repeat this again. And this is something you take for granted. When you get sick, let me show you something. When you're sick, right, and you feel like yucky, and you feel like you don't have appetite, you get the chills and the fever. You know what that is? It's your body protecting you. For example, what happens is when you get the fever, it's the immune system turning up the temperature to kill the virus or the bacteria. They can't take the heat, so it kills a lot of them off. All right. When you can't eat your appetite, it's your body shutting down vital parts of the body. So it says, all right, we're not gonna have all this virus travel to different parts of your body. So let's cut off the appetite, so blood can't flow to your liver and all that stuff. Because when you eat, the food's gonna travel to all parts of the body. So what the immune system says, all right, look, I gotta contain this stuff, man. So I'm gonna cut your appetite off so that I can contain it. See, you don't know all that stuff, right? And then when you start to cough, that's the body again creating mucus to trap these things and then expelling them out. All that is going on, and you're like, and you don't see the inner workings of the what's called a helocase, these miniature cells that go to work. And what is the program in these cells? And these cells know exactly what to do. They do it all the time. It's like someone programmed them before you were even here. And they do it. You don't have to tell it. It just does it. It knows automatically. And you have no clue. You're just chilling every day. Yeah, man. And you don't see the deep battles going on within your own body, the constant balances and all that stuff. Same thing with your mind outside here. It's the same thing with the matrix. Same thing with manifesting. You don't see that everything is already set up for you to create what you want. So we go against the grain. We try to like push and strive, but all you have to do is decide what you want, picture it over and over again, have faith it's gonna come, believe it must happen, and be patient by living in the moment, and you'll get it. I put money on that 100%. Few people do it though. Yeah. So the mechanism of the body is the same mechanism of your mind in the universe. My point is this, that whatever you want was already set up for you to have. There's nothing that you really have to create. You just have to get into a state. It's all about being in certain states to accept what you want. And to get into a state is about a feeling. A state of being is the way something makes you feel. Like we talk, okay, let me talk about faith, because I don't think a lot of people understand what faith really is. So you hear people say, man, keep the faith, man. Keep the faith. And they say, yeah, I'm keeping. But do they know what faith really means, man? Like, man, I have faith it's going to happen. Well, Mark, what's the difference between faith and belief, man? Because I think they're like the same, isn't it? I believe I'm going to get it. I have faith I'm going to get it. So let me ask you guys first. What's the difference between faith and belief? Can anyone tell me that? I mean, they're totally different. They may seem similar, but they're very different. Let me tell you what faith is. Faith is those cells that they are programmed to do the same thing over and over. You know it's just going to happen. That's what faith is. The belief is the feeling, is the noticing when you're getting better. Like when you get sick, you know your immune system is going to do its job. That's called faith. Those cells are going to do it over and over again. You can't explain how they do it. Even though science still can't understand it. They just see it work. They can't tell the inner workings of why it does, how it communicates. But they just know, okay, when your body gets virus, our body gets bacteria, your immune system is going to come to work. And you witness it all the time. You feel lousy, a couple of days, you get over it, you get back on track. That's faith. The belief now is the experience of like, man, I feel better. Wow. I'm seeing. That's the difference between faith and belief. So faith is something that must happen if you acknowledge it in the mental now, not in the physical, in the mental. That means acknowledge it means that, look, I know this thing is going to happen. I know it must happen. I know it will happen. I don't care when it's going to happen. That's faith, man. Right. Yep. So that's something you have to cultivate. You got to have those three things now. Remember, you got to have faith, belief, and patience. Those three, just like the body needs a system to run. When the body has fight stuff, it has three different types of barriers to an immune system. If one of them is down, we're going to have problems. The virus you can get more sicker, you'll take more time to heal, you got all this type of stuff happening. See? Same thing when it comes to creating your dreams. If you're lacking one of those things, it's going to take longer, it's going to make more resistance. But and look, and those things I'm talking about, they're easy, man. They're not like, it's not like rocket science. It's not like, man, faith, belief, and patience. How am I going to do that, man? That's your ego talking to you, man. It's so easy to do. To have faith, patience, and belief, it's about a state of awareness. It's just being aware of, okay, in order for me to get what I want, I have to understand what's happening. Right? Someone says, keep seeing that Indian yogis imply that the speed of manifestation is determined by intensity of focus. If this is true, most people are not able to focus very strongly on their thought and their feeling. Yeah, this is correct. It's intensity and focus in a state of resistance, though. That's how things come in a lot faster. And this is a clear law of physics. The more energy you put towards something, the greater ability you have to influence the field around it, to have that thing influence in some way, right? Right? So you got to understand that, right? Any advice on how to deal with with very negative people you live with, such as husband telling? Well, the only advice I can give you is don't try to convince people. You have to kind of be in your own world and be cooperate at the same time. So if you have a spouse or someone that's negative, you have to hear but don't hear, and then you have to focus more on being more positive in your life. Like in situations like that, you have to have a lot of time for you to detox. You're gonna have to spend a lot of time meditating, because you're gonna pick up a lot of the negative stuff from your partner or whatever. So you're gonna need somewhere to channel it or fuel that out. So it'll take a lot of time for you to do that. But that's the best thing. Now there's another component now. So we talk about the faith, we talk about belief, and we talk about patience, right? Now there's another important one here that is one of your most powerful gifts you have. And you need this to activate the faith, the patience, and the belief. Do you know what it is? Can anyone tell me what it is? Without this, None of that, those three can't be activated. You can't activate faith, patience, and belief if you don't activate this gift. I mean, this is more valuable than money. This is valuable than anything. This can get you money. Can anyone tell me what that is? No, not action, not assumption. Close. Let me tell you what that gift is, guys. Here's your most powerful gift you have right now. This is one thing you have control over. Here it is. Your attention. Who you give your attention and what you give your attention determines what physical reality you're going to experience. Your attention will turn on faith, patience, or belief. Your attention will turn off faith, patience, and belief. Your attention is very, very special. You can't give your attention to just anybody, man. The thing about attention is our focus. Once you give it, it can't come back. So you have to be aware of who you're giving your energy to, what you're focusing your energy on. Because the very act of you doing that, you're actually creating. You ever hear that thing? Energy goes, thought goes, energy follows. It's our attention that's going to start the process. An example, okay, let's say you want to start a garden, a garden, right? First thing you're going to do is, now my attention is I want to start a garden. So now once you decide that, stuff going to start to happen. You're going to start to get insights. Now you're going to say, okay, got to go get some seeds to plant. I'm going to cultivate this. You start to see an image in your mind. Your mind now starts to help you because your attention is on that. See what attention is? Your mind picks up your attention immediately and goes right to work. I want to start a garden. First image, you're going to start to get, okay, what kind of garden? Do I want like veggies and fruits? See that? Now the mind says, all right, let's go get some seeds. It's going to give you ideas. It's going to show you. You're going to go, and then you're going to see your garden in your mind. You're going to start to do the action now, the work to put the garden together. But all that started because your attention was, that's what I want. See that? See how powerful that is? Now with people, it works the same way. It's more even more powerful with people. Attention is like currency, right? So now with people, all right, I give my attention to this person. But man, this person's negative, man. But it's my family. I want to help them. It's my friend. I know him for years. But every time I hang around, they just make me feel a certain type of way. Every time I go, I feel drained. See what's happening? Your attention is draining. So now, once I discovered this and I learned this, and I was like, man, I gotta protect my attention, man. I really do. I gotta protect where I focus and like what I surround myself with, because I see it has a toll on my body, has a toll on my environment. I physically feel it. So I was like, man. So there's certain people I gotta cut them off, or I gotta love them from a distance, because it affects my field. I can't have anything affecting my field. If it's affecting my field in a negative way, then I gotta cut it off. I can't. It's not gonna work. That's the power of attention. Now, also my attention could affect positive stuff. There may be positive people, like you guys, the tribe. We talk, we build each other up, we feel good. See, it grows, it expands. So this is really like deep stuff here. So desire allows you to focus your attention, having deadlines and time crunches. Having deadlines and time creates resistance. Hey Mark, when visualizing, what would you describe as third person? Third person basically just means that You're in your mind, but you're seeing yourself. That's a third person. There's some people that can visualize like this. So there's some people can visualize like watching themselves do the thing, and there's some people that can visualize just doing it. That's first and third person. That has no difference on manifesting, by the way, guys. It's just a unique way of you doing it. So it doesn't mean if I visualize in first person it comes faster or third person. It has nothing. It's just how you're uniquely made up. It's just how we are. There's some of us that can see first person, some of us can see third person. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. So don't get too deep on that. uh, so the thing is that now you know if you're trying too hard. So let me do a review so you can get it. When you're trying too hard is if I'm fantasizing. When you're trying too hard is if it's bigger than you. Okay? When you're trying too hard is when you don't have the patience. Okay? When you're trying too hard, you don't have the faith. You don't have the belief. Now let's talk about when you don't try hard and what's the characteristics of just letting it go. When you know you're on the right path is when you use your imagination. It feels okay. It feels good. And when you think about it, you do it specifically to raise your vibration to make you feel good. And then you don't care about when it's going to happen because the faith is telling you it's going to happen. And then because you repeat that, your belief starts to build, and then you become more present, and then you stop trying to force, you just start to allow, and then you start to see how things just start kind of working out. Look, you got to think about this. Think about this. Do you notice, right, that somehow, some way, things always work out? Think about that. It's like, sometimes, when you're in it, when you're in it, man, when you're in it, it feels tough. But for some reason, you always get through it. It's like, some of you can sit back and go back into your life and say, man, I've been through some crap, man. Look where I'm at. That's what I'm talking about. It's the seed that was planted by you that you had the power to create and overcome all this stuff. All you have to do is just let it germinate. That's all you do. That's the secret, guys. Let your desires germinate. Germinate means let the natural universe do it. So let the nutrients of the soil do their job. Don't interfere with your conscious mind, the ego. That's tough, though, for a lot of us, too, because we've been trained to use our minds, and like school and all that stuff, and it really messes up. Don't get me wrong, the mind is a wonderful thing. It's great to help you to analyze, organize your life, but when it comes to like spirituality, getting enlightenment, manifesting your big dreams and these what you call big goals, it can really trip you up because it's not familiar with the unseen. Remember, it's an analytical thing. It has to see like evidence and all that stuff. How do you enjoy manifesting again after manifesting a teacher that turned out not to be what you expected? That's going to happen. You just got to let that go and move on. You got to remember, like, look, this is the thing. Here's the next part about this. This will set the trend for you guys. Do you live in a universe that's designed to serve you? Or do you live in a universe that's what could go wrong? Do you live in a universe that's what's the best could go right? Or do you live in a universe that's what's the worst that could go wrong? That will tell you the type of person you are. So if you live in a universe that everything is happening for you instead of to you, then whatever happens in your life will turn out to be a blessing or a benefit. So if you have a teacher that didn't work out, and you live in a friendly universe, that's something that's going to help you down the line. It's simple. It's like black and white. It's that simple. If you decide, and I said this before, do I live in a friendly universe that's designed to serve me, or do I live in a hostile universe that's always out to get me, people trying me? You just create your destiny right there. You don't even know it. See, I live in a universe that's designed to serve me. So what everything that happens in my life, it doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. And I see clear evidence of this. I may not see it next month or next year, but somewhere down the line, it comes back up and I think about this. It's like, man, I'm glad that happened a year ago, 6 months ago. Because look now, look where I'm at. See that? That's because I decided what universe I wanted to live in. And because I decided that, the universe will turn and conspire to create something that will come back and sew it up for me. And I've seen the opposite. I've seen people, and I know them, that they already decide mentally that they live in a universe that is designed to serve them. Because I see there's so much stuff going in their life. And then it comes back around to verify to them. And I see the same thing with them. See, man, I told you, man, look, see, always happened, man. 6 months ago, and look, same that. Because they just see that, they subconsciously decide. They don't have a clue like what's really going on, man. I mean, it's really that simple. You can just decide. I decide I'm in a universe that I live in a universe that designed to serve me. Why does that thing work? Why does it work? Well, it works because each person is a conscious creator. Each person is an observer that affects a field, that affects quantum particles, that creates physical Newtonian world. So it's like you're in your own movie with a group of other people in their movie. And you can go zoom in on their movie, or you can come zoom into your movie. Your movie only responds to you. It doesn't respond to someone. Someone else cannot come into your movie and change your movie. So once I decide I live in a universe that's designed to serve me, that becomes my movie. Now, someone outside can't come in my movie and say you don't live in a universe that's designed to serve you. Because they're not a conscious observer as me on a personal level. They're an observer on the outside. That's called consciousness. That's awareness. That's what makes the world turns, or whatever you want to call it. That's who you are. Someone says something about Murphy's Law. That's a perfect example. Whatever can go wrong, goes wrong. Guess what? It does all the time. Why is that? Because in someone's mind, that was their movie. And that became a collective subconscious for everybody now. So whenever I hear the word, their subconscious turns on. Something bad's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. See that? Now if I say, yeah, Murphy's Law for me is whatever can go right, goes right. Guess what that law turns out to be? For me, it turns out to be the opposite. It turns out everything's going to go right for me. Because see, my attention and what I decide to give my focus on becomes my world. So for someone else, they're like, what they say Murphy's Law. When I hear it, I'm like, yes. So I'm going to get two different experiences. They're going to experience the opposite. I'm going to experience the opposite. They're going to experience what goes wrong. I'm going to experience what goes right. Guys, it's just like the placebo effect. Science, and I talk about that seed, they still cannot explain what it is. They know it works, but there's no one, like, epidemiologist, there's no biologist can tell you, well, this is exactly how placebo works. No one can tell you. All they can tell you is they can show you, well, we know the body does that, and we know the cells do it, but we don't know like what triggers it. How about then? No one knows any of that stuff. So, with that being said, it says that there has to be some sort of coded information that was set in before you were created, before you became a physical person or being, or whatever you want to call it. And the only thing that was around before physical was energy. your consciousness and awareness. So if you think about it, everything was already set up or set in before you even got here. So your success or your failure exists in two parallel worlds based on your awareness to determine which one you want to experience. It was already set up for you before you got here, man. Universe set everything up for you. Universe says, here's success, here's failure, here's struggle, here's lack, here's health, here's abundance. You're a conscious being. I'm turning you on right now. I have awareness. So all you have to do is pick which one you want to experience. So it was already set up. So the question is, Mark, if all this stuff you're telling me is true, why am I struggling? Why am I not working? Well, the reason you're struggling is you're not working because you weren't focused on the right frequency. You're a product of the matrix. You're a product of your parents, of school, and how the system works. So they never teach you focus on what you want. No one taught you that. They teach you to focus on the problem. So you're constantly creating a problem. That's why it doesn't work. For you now. Now you know you can fix it. Trust me, guys, everything is written before you came here. So yes, you don't exactly have free will. What you do have, you have free direction to take, but your destiny and all that stuff, it was already coded just like a seed. Information is already there for you to experience success, failure, lack, all of that. And it exists in infinite terms, and it's based on one thing. When you got turned on, when you came on and you got awareness, a conscious observer. The minute you became conscious and aware of your world, you started to create it mentally. Now what happens, what messes you up is you got distracted because when you came into this world, it was just full of bull crap. There's no positive, there was like a motivator or anything in school to teach you to keep going, to focus on your goal. None of that was there. It was more about like struggle, hustle, bustle, failures, lack, fear, all of that. You were in the total opposite of that stuff. That's what kind of got you off your game. Many of us are just getting back to our game, but there's still many people that are still off their game. Right? Homeopathic drugs only work because they're pure placebo. There's no active ingredient. Yeah, placebo. I mean, when they have trials and everything, when they do new medicines coming out, they give two types. They give people sugar pills and they give them the real thing. So if you look at the big picture, the body and everything was designed to create whatever you want, to fix whatever you want. It was already there. Everything is already there to be fixed, to create, to do this stuff. We only get in our way because of our ego. It's just the conscious mind that's really responsible for all this stuff, man. The ego, man. The ego is the big problem here because you know that. Thank you, Mark. My mind's been clouded due to headaches and sore throat for days. Yep, that's the body will naturally come back and heal and all that stuff. But what I'm showing you is I'm showing you like the deep picture, man. That it's like there's something already like coded and written that you and I and even science they can't understand. The same thing like how the immune system and these cells, like they're trying to figure out like, okay, who is telling the cells to do this? Like how do the cells know when to communicate, when to turn off, when to turn on, when to stop attacking these invaders, when to do this, when, like, what is the central communication system? Where's the hub? Where's the base camp? What is going? No one can tell you that. There's no scientists. There's no scientists can ever tell you, okay, man, why did this become an apple tree and a mango tree. Okay, what makes this? What turns this on though? Can something turn this off? Like, why do these cells and these things, they just do it over and over? Like, you try to stop it, they just go back and do it again. It's like someone programmed this. So there's something programmed here. There's a program running before you even got here. Yeah, and you can see it in your body. Look how your body works. Does the same thing over it. The body automatically knows when to turn, when not to, when to do. See, that science can't even explain that stuff. They can't tell you. Okay, I don't know how they know. I mean, they just recently discovered that cells communicate to each other through chemical signals like telepathy. They talk to each other. What produces those chemicals? Like, where's the intelligence coming from with these complex bacteria? Where, who is, like, who wrote the code? You know, think about a computer, guys. When a computer runs, somebody have to be behind there writing a code. Computers don't turn itself on and da, 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 da. So the thing is, this is my belief now. So what I believe is this, is that the entire universe and me are one thing, but I'm experiencing the universe, I'm experiencing myself from a fractal point as a mark on a human being, but I am just one huge consciousness that was always here everywhere. I am the one that's creating, evolutionizing all of this stuff, and I'm experiencing it. My environment, I'm a product of my environment. The environment created me. The earth, where I'm at, all of that is me being me. So I'm just this one big consciousness. You're the same thing, and you're the one that's doing the code and all that stuff. I'm constantly learning, evolving through my awareness and consciousness. That's what I believe. That's what God is to me. God is that energy or that consciousness that is in the components and the writings of all these programs. That's what God is. God is in that cell that tells that cell when to turn on, when to turn off, when to heal, when not to heal. God is the belief, and it happens. God is the faith, and it does. That's what God is. It's all of me and all of you in one thing come together. I learned this a long time ago. No one can tell me otherwise. No one can come to me and tell me that, well, there's God that exists in the sky and he's doing this. Nope. I've been there, done that. You know why they can't tell me that? Because here's the thing. Religion is new. Spirituality existed once my consciousness got turned on. You can't even count time when the universe began. Every single human being have a feeling or a spiritual connection inside them. Religion was invented. You gotta remember, there's something you gotta understand, guys. You are a spiritual entity experiencing what you call physical existence. That's the bottom line, man. You have the ability to do amazing things if only you can get out of your own way, which is your ego and your programs you've learned and all these things that were bombarded your subconscious. Right? These are the truth of the universe. You know, explain this to me. Explain it. Someone can explain this to me. The iron in your blood, and I said this many times in my life, the iron in your blood came from an exploding star trillions of years before you were even created. So the iron in my blood is from an exploding star trillions of years ago before I was even created. You too. That's facts. Matter of fact, the iron in my right arm and my left arm are from two different supernovas, from two different galaxies, billions of light years away. Before Mark was ever existed or born, before you ever came on here. See what I'm saying? So that's something you got to start to realize, you know? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is our subconscious still manipulating the cells to protect us when we get sick? Of course. I mean, look, your body is miraculous. Your body is, guys, to show you the complexity of this stuff that we don't even take notice of. Right now, there are trillions of bacteria fighting right now to get into your body, to do all type of stuff, good and bad. And your immune system right now is knocking all of them out, and you don't even have a clue, because it has developed this mechanism, this coded program to know what to do so that you can be who you are. That's not by chance. That's by design. So if my body is designed like that, what about the stuff I want to create in my life? Doesn't it have to work the same? Because the mind and the body, right, they're connections. And the answer is yes. It's the same process when you manifest something. Same exact process. You plant the seed, which is make a decision, decide, you germinate it by repeating it over in images or write it down, right? Once you germinate it now, you water it, and the water in it and the dirt is the faith. The faith now becomes the belief. The belief now starts the growing process. That's what you call time. That's the patience. And then the tree becomes mature, and then you can reap the fruit. That's how you manifest. You guys are aware of this, but many people aren't. I'm sure many of you have done this and experienced it. Do you think V will alters people's DNA only if they believe it? We live in a world of beliefs and things of that sort, placebo. If you believe it, it will. If you don't, it won't. Hey, Monica. Someone says, yes, our DNA is millions of years older than the Earth. That's correct. We started from a bacteria. You're not a bacteria. We started from single cell. And due to complexity, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that key, that code key that turned these simple organisms into complex organisms, which become you and I today. The ability to consciously think. And all of that started from a single cell, for a single bacteria. I mean, one of the earliest forms of bacteria was called mitochondria. It was one of our, and mitochondria now it became a part. Now it evolutionized, became the powerhouse of our cells. Produces a chemical ATP, which is in your body, is what gives you the energy, the life force. All of that is from a bacteria. Mm-hmm. How do you interpret the mind, the body, the soul, and the Holy Trinity? What do you think it refers to? Well, the Trinity thing is like, that one I'm not gonna. The Trinity thing, I don't believe in that. The mind now, mind, body, and soul, if you want to call that the Trinity thing, yeah. But for me, it's about spirituality, which is an innate understanding of who you are, why you're here, listening to this other part of you talking. Then we move from the spirituality, and then you have the enlightenment, which is the ability to comprehend the voice talking, and now you're interpreting. And then you move to the awareness, which you put it all together, and then you see a clear picture. That's my Trinity. And that clear picture will start to communicate to you. Because the thing is, once you're open to your higher self, and what I call higher self now is the universal consciousness, the bigger picture of you, the part of you that has all the information and is being funneled down to your subconscious and different parts of your body that interprets intuitions, etc., so that you can make moves. It goes into your gut, those microbes, bacteria, they pick it up, and you're able to know what's happening. All of that is a product of very, very high form of intelligence. See that? Yeah, it should be easy for you to manifest. Nothing is hard. Yeah, it's a program thing. The thing is, about this here. The thing about all of this is, it comes down to understanding that there was you're already set up for success. That's the big thing about this. You gotta understand. No matter what part of what's going on in your life, where you're at in your life right now, guys, there's this code inside of you that's already set up for you to be successful. See what I'm talking about? It's difficult for you to see that because you're bombarded with so much distractions in your life. You got your ego, you know what I mean? But the fact is that stuff is already in you to bring it out. You got to remember that, guys. Yeah, I mean, people don't understand that because because you're seeing things from a surface level, like you're seeing a limited aspect because we use a very limited part of our mind. You know what I mean? So it becomes hard. I feel you guys, it becomes hard because when you can only see surface and you can't see like the big picture. But I'm here to tell you that there is the big picture, but you have to develop some habits to connect to that, and that takes, you gotta have the faith, you gotta have the patience, you gotta believe. That's how you're gonna tap into that stuff. And then of course, your subconscious mind is where you really want to target. The subconscious is the gateway to all that stuff, the cells and everything. It's already programmed. Just look, like a perfect example is your subconscious mind as well. Look how your subconscious mind is automated. It's like set it and forget it. Who programmed it that way? Your subconscious mind knows the exact amount of oxygen that goes into your blood, filters out the exact correct amount of carbon dioxide you expel out. You inhale, you expel out. It controls your heart rate, makes you breathe right, metabolic states, your body. It's just running this automatic program, man. And there's nothing, you don't even know about it. While it's doing that, it's also looking around for what you want based on what you've been thinking about all the time. See that? So, that's another epiphany that came to me. Once I understood that, I was like, okay, so you're telling me that, okay, So everything was already set up already for me to thrive or to be successful. Because look at the body, look at your environment. I mean, you're built to thrive in this environment. I mean, your breathing, your lungs, everything is adapted to this environment here. So it's all about adaptation. So I said, okay, so that means something, everything was set up. So does it work the same in my mind? Because I say, okay, so the mind creates mind, body, all that stuff. So let me see if it's the same thing in the mind. And I did the mind, and I was like, oh damn, it's the same thing. And the lottery proved that to me when I won the lottery. I was like, okay, damn, it is the same thing in the mind. So that started to me to think now, like, okay, man. So Mark, why would you like stress and go the hard way when you can just allow what you want to come to you? That's much easier, right? Sounds easy, yeah, but your ego gets in the way though. Ego says, nah, man, come on, man. Where you get that BS from? Ain't nothing gonna work like that. You know you gotta go out there, bust your butt. You gotta try hard. That's what my ego would say, and now I know why now because of my training and upbringing and all the matrix and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna test this theory. I'm just gonna start to just let it flow, man. I'm just gonna let it go. Watch from behind the scenes. I'm not gonna force. I'm gonna be very observant, and I'm gonna pick up on things, and then I'm gonna let go. And I did that, and I was like, damn it. There it is. It's true. I've been deceived all my life. Like, man, I was deceived, man. I was deceived by my environment, by my parents, unwittingly, by my religion, by my friends, my what I watch, the people I look up to. I was deceived because they were deceived. Because they were teaching me and showing me what they learned. Like, man, so if I'm deceived, the whole world is deceived. How many people know this secret? Like, man, probably like very few. It's like, wow. I said, I gotta go teach this stuff. And I was like, man. And ever since I started doing that, everything was like automated now. It's like a well-oiled machine. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes my ego will come in. You're gonna get thoughts and all this stuff. Nothing's ever gonna come and be smooth because the mind is constantly picking stuff up and out. But it's my constant awareness though to stuff. So I started to become in the flow state now. So the flow state, that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay. I'm just watching everything, man, and everything happens now. I know it's happening for me, and it turns out like, wow. Look, it's a constant balance. I'm not gonna lie to you, because your mind wants to get in there. See, the thing why this is so difficult to master is because the mind loves to control things. See, the mind doesn't like to sit back and just. It's not programmed like that. So this is where the struggle is gonna come. Talk about your ego. So you have to really be disciplined. But if you get it good enough, long enough, it's gonna fix it. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm at that balance point. Like I have to just you got to let go to manifest. You got to. You got to let the process do the thing. You can't interfere. You know what I mean? Mark, did you read books before you manifested anything? No, most of the stuff was self-taught. Most of the stuff was experimenting on myself. I'm always experimenting in my mind. I'm always like doing theories in myself because I'm always so curious. So a lot of this stuff is self-taught. And the books were validation because later on I learned about the books and I was like, okay, so that was true. But most of the stuff I do is like my own experiment on myself. But when you get into that state, and then the thing about that state too, here's what I discovered about that state as well. So now I'm in that state and I also realized something. I was like, that state also influences intelligence in people. I like, whoa. So not only I can do inanimate objects, but I could also have an effect on people as well. That was pretty fascinating because each person has ability to uniquely think for themselves and they can decide. But something happened when I get into flow state with people. I think it was because I had this if I would call it nonchalant, like I had this kind of attitude that everything is all right, and I think people pick up on that subconsciously. And when people pick up on that subconsciously, they want to be around you, and then they want to do good stuff for you because people don't sense fear or they don't sense anxiety. Because I think everyone's natural baseline is happiness and success. Everyone's natural baseline is that they don't want to be in fear. Fear is something we were taught. So when you can find that natural, people want to gravitate towards that. And if you think about it and you look at it, man, most people that like leaders and successful people, they're really calm under pressure, right? People who are more calm, people who are more just, I think that's the flow state again, guys. That's when you know things are going to work out. I mean, you don't have to know how they're going to work out, but you just got to know they're going to work out, right? So I test that law. I mean, I test that theory. Now it's a law. Many of you have been teaching this to you guys. You guys are doing it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Can you explain the mind wasn't meant to understand, it meant to interpret? Yeah, so okay, as human beings, we constantly strive to figure out why is this working out like that? That's our ego mind, right? Now, the reason we know the mind wasn't meant to understand is because of the limiting processing power of our conscious mind. It's severely limited. That alone tells us that the way we were designed and evolved, that part of our mind wasn't created to understand stuff. It was just created to see it, interpret it, and get a little bit of meaning. Otherwise, if our mind was meant to understand, we would have enormous power, just like our subconscious mind. So that's why the mind can only interpret and not understand. And the next part about that too is the brain. Our brain as a totality. We're only seeing a fraction of real reality. Now we see reality through the electromagnetic spectrum, or light. So there's different forms of light which give different forms of vibration. We're only seeing a very limited perspective. We call that the visible light spectrum. So we're not seeing a full picture of everything happening around us. That alone tells us another thing. It says, okay, the brain, okay, isn't built to experience true reality, physical brain. Now, the interesting thing about that, though, is we go into the subconscious, and then we go into the third eye. Now, the third eye has retina cells that can see light, but not like how our eyes see light. It senses it in a different way. And the subconscious connects to your higher self, and you sense things through different ways of communication, such as dreams. So now we know, okay, there's another channel that we can pick up the other forms of reality. But the big picture is to show us that there's the physical part of our brain. If we just use the mental, cognitive, conscious part of our minds to try to run our lives or to get stuff, we're really selling ourselves short. That's why the importance of meditation, the importance of visualizing, the importance of being present, the importance of knowing your higher self all comes into play, because it takes you to a new dimension of reality that you cannot otherwise get by being a logical, analytical person. So that's why the mind can only interpret, not understand. Now, you can get to a point where you can overstand or be enlightened. And being enlightened and overstanding is two different things now. When someone is enlightened, it's a very high form of intelligence. It's the intelligence is so high that we don't even have a real description of it, but I can show you effects of what it means. So an enlightened person can know something and they don't know how they know, but they know, and it becomes right. An enlightened person can make a decision or take an action or do something without any cognitive input from the conscious mind. It's like an instinct or reaction. An enlightened person can feel and sense things before it happens. An enlightened person can physically see things in a mental aspects such as channeling, dreaming. An enlightened person can pick up energy. They can walk around people and they can sense people and they don't know why they're sensing people. They can pick things. See, all of this is a different level of intelligence because science is studying this and science still have no idea how this works. Many of you are doing this. You guys can walk in a room, you can meet a stranger for the first time and something is off. Call it your spider sense, whatever. And you will sit next to this person and this person will be talking nice and looking at you nice, but in your gut, there's something off and you get confused. And then maybe a week later on, you found out something about that person that, damn, yeah, so I was right. That is coming from your higher intelligence. That's going up to enlightenment. Hey, Trend. Is this Trend Genius? The real Trend Genius here. Trend Genius is also enlightened. Has a good sense of reading people. So when you can read people, when you can see visions, when you can channel information, when you can sense stuff, when you have dreams and you see things in the dreams, you're a seer. That is not common or ESP, telepathic. That is no way coming from an analytical or the frontal lobe of the brain. That is not coming from there. This is coming from somewhere else. I mean, I assume the brain is part of the instrument, but this is something else. This is coming from gut. This is coming from subconscious. This is coming from somewhere else. I mean, there's no way. I mean, you know this. All of you guys experience this. You have people. You do it yourself. But there's, think about science. Now, science is great to get me. I'm a science guy. I love science. I love quantum physics. Science can only do so much. And where science stops, that's what they call mysticism. See, so when science stops, it's called what they call pseudoscience. The reason they call it pseudoscience and mysticism is because they have no answer. They can't figure it out. So they make up these terms. They say it's pseudoscience, it's mysticism. When they figure it out, now pseudoscience becomes science. So just because, guys, you gotta remember, just because they don't understand what you're doing or you don't understand what's happening, science tells you, oh, it's impossible. You can't do that. That doesn't happen. You can't go dream 6 numbers and win the lottery over and over. You can't collapse these numbers. You can't do that. It's a mathematical proportion. You gotta, everything's gonna play the law of average sometimes. You gotta do all that. All that's a bunch of BS. Because there is another level to this that we haven't evolved yet. And I don't think we're going to get there it'll probably take thousands of years or millions of years to get to the point where we can be fully telepathic, where I can sit here and I can talk to you in my mind without talking to you in my voice. We can eventually get there in another few million years if human beings are still around, because the brain is still evolving. I personally believe that there are other intelligent beings that can do that because they're more advanced. I mean, our part of the galaxy is pretty young. There's billions of other light years beyond the observable universe. And maybe some of those beings are what people when they came here, people associate them and call them gods. They can talk telepathically to you and I. That's my belief. And the telepathic thing, we know it's real because we're studying it now. You got somebody like, who's that guy? Dean Radin. That's a pioneer doing that stuff. Physicists, Assam Gwame is another physicist that's doing that. Who else is doing that? Greg Braden, uh, Nasam Hiroshima is doing that. Telepathy, we know because we sense a little by little, so we know the capabilities there because you all experienced it before. You thought of someone, they call, they talk to you. That's activating telepathy. And now we understand how telepathy is kind of working now. We know it's through quantum entanglement. We know it's through entangled information. And then we also know that eventually the human brain will cut off language. We won't talk anymore because we're still evolving. We know that because what they do, they study the brain and how it's going to adapt, and they say, okay, you know, and future human beings, their heads will be a little bit bigger, their eyes will be bigger, like baby face bigger, as they evolve, because the environment's changing. And when the environment changes, human beings are going to change. The brain will be a little bit bigger, but that'll take millions of years down the line. So I don't know if we'll still be here because, I mean, we're intelligent. We might blow ourselves up, but I don't know. Can you explain the mind versus the soul? Okay, the mind is what you use to interpret. What you're aware, you're thinking, you're cognitive. Okay, the soul is the part that sends information without any knowing or interpretation. The soul is the feel, the soul is the etheric. The soul is the part of feeling, intuition, and a knowing. It's two different things. How do you know when to play numbers you were given? When you get the I don't understand that. If you get numbers, you play them. If you're given numbers, you see them, you got to play them. Mark, what is your definition of God? I said this in this live before. God is the coded information that's in everything to succeed. That information that you don't know how it works, what turns a cell off, what turns it off, when your immune system stops fighting, when it doesn't, how the body knows about to go back to normal, how the body knows how to breathe, the correct amount of blood oxygen level, carbon dioxide, all of that stuff. God, to me, God is that source of consciousness, that intelligence that's in all of us. It's the ability to talk and listen to a higher version of yourself. The voice that tells you do this, do that. That's that calm voice. That's God to me. That's part of me. It's running through me. That's what God is. A universal conscious intelligence that permeates in all of us. And what it does, it gives you access through frequencies of information. So it creates an infinite portal for you to experience whatever part of life you want to experience. So there's no judgment, there is no bias. It's just one pure thing that is for it's fear for everyone can experience whatever they want to experience. That's God to me. This is the soul the same as the spirit. To me it's the same thing. It's like tomato tomato. I call soul spirit the same. Look, I told you this story. I knew that the body was literally just a vessel. And I knew that this was soul or spirit. I knew that there was a spiritual being or a consciousness that is who I am or who we truly are. And I knew this because my grandmother. Now look, this is my personal experience. When you live with someone, like raised by my grandmother, and you around them every day, you tend to know them, right? And the day when my grandmother passed away and she died, and the day I went into the viewing, I had an epiphany, because when I looked at her, I see her physical body, her eyes were closed. I I automatically knew the body was a vessel. It wasn't her. The energy, who she truly was gone. It was like some, it was just a body. And that's when I knew that the consciousness is eternal. It just changes form. So the real us is not me, or is not, this isn't really me, and this isn't really you. It's a representation. The real you is very invisible. It's a consciousness. It's the higher self. It's energy. It's something you can't see physically. I don't think. Maybe some people can. I mean, guys, when you physically see something and experience it is different, because like my grandmother, you see her every day. You look like your family. If someone passed away, you see, and then for me it was more because I'm so observant with energy and everything. And when she was there, it was something was just talking to me, and it just told me, it's like, bro, it's not her. This is this is just a vessel. And that's when I realized that's true. It just clicked. Who she is back in the universe. It's out back. It's back in a collective consciousness. She's somewhere else. I don't know where she's at. Maybe is she in another dimension, a parallel Earth? Is she a guide? Whatever. But that's when I knew that we continue to live eternally. Right then and there. I just knew that. Maybe some people can resonate with that. I'm a psychic medium, and I teach others how to do it as well. I'm learning to free my limiting beliefs about what's possible for me. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes the people with power, the people that have the gift, they also struggle themselves, because some people are conduits. They're meant, like the teacher can teach, but the teacher can't do, sometimes what they're teaching. If it makes sense. Like there's some people that they can teach you how, they can come to you and they can teach you, hey, I could teach you how to make a lot of money or do this, but they can't do it for themselves. There's some people like that. They can do that because that's their gift. Their gift is the ability to teach you and help. But the issue with that too sometimes is they can do it for others, but the reason they can't do it for themselves is because they don't have the belief, or they're subconscious. But it happens sometimes. Right? Yeah, there's so many. Listen, I've met so many people on my journey. You wouldn't believe it. There are so many special people that they have immense powers, and they can't talk and tell everyone it because people look at them like crazy. But there are people I've met that can make physical objects move. I've seen it. There are people that I've met that have profound dreams of seers. There are people I've met that the energy can heal, very psychic. They're out there. These people are out there. Maybe you're one of these people right now. These individuals are tapping into what I call that next level of higher intelligence. So many of you watching this right now are individuals like that. There are people that I have met. They have instant visions like this, and they see something and it happens. They have premonitions. They can tell you right about yourself right then and there. They feel things. Are you? Yep. East Texas. Are you in a new car and you see? This is my other car. Remember, I have this car. This is the Mercedes, and I have the BMW. BMW I drive on the weekends. The Mercedes I usually do on the weekdays. The reason I'm in the Mercedes today, though, is because It's very cold down here. Usually I have the M3, but I couldn't take it out because the M3 doesn't have, I don't, it's light, so I took a lot of stuff out just for light. So the heater thing is out. So this car has heated seats and it's heated, so this is why I drove it this weekend. It's pretty cold in Florida standards. Pretty cold today. It was like in the 40s or 30s. That's pretty cold for Florida. So that's why I'm in this car today. Yeah, that's my grandmother. I learned that, man. I was like, man, the body is just like a vessel. So the real consciousness is an energy inside the body. Yeah, I agree. The devil is an analogy for the ego. Yep, it's totally hmm yeah. See, man, there's just stuff that you're gonna learn, and there's no way you can prove it. Science, you can't, like, there's stuff that I'm teaching here to you guys, and it sounds trippy. There's no way I can go to and physically prove it to you guys with an experiment and say, look, this is how it works. But um, there's ways that you can feel it and understand it because you'll start to experience it yourself, and then you prove it to yourself. But it's not like I can go to like a lab or somewhere where I can say, all right, so let's document this and show you how this works. And that's where science has trouble. That's what science messes up. They can't prove that stuff, so they class it until they can figure it out. They come back to it and they can prove it. So I say that to say this, that there's tons of stuff going on that you have the ability to do that science will never be able to catch up to. It's just not going to work that way, and that's something you have to accept and understand. That the human consciousness, human mind, the human um, ability far exceeds more than you can consciously think. Like, you have so much ability and power right now that it's crazy if you discover how to truly use it. It's so crazy if they decided or whatever to come out and say, hey guys, let's create a school and show people how to develop these gifts. I think you'll change the world in a very profound and positive way. I think you'll create a new paradigm. But the reason it can't is not out there because there's no one to fund it. There's Science is not going to fund stuff like that. They're not going to put money into things like that. They're going to call it pseudoscience. Yeah, they're trying to explain what it already is. There are some ones out there that are finding unique ways to do it. So most of this stuff is just going to be hidden like this. It's just going to be by a personal experience, a personal testimony. When people see you do it, when they see your evidence, that's how this stuff is going to remain. And that's just how it is, man. Because that's you can't go to someone and you can't physically explain how they know to remote view a base camp in the middle of Moscow with a 10-digit serial number, and they're in Texas, United States. Now, that happened in the 1960s when the U.S. did a program, remote view with the Soviet Union. Yeah. Or someone that the authorities came to and asked to crack a case that they couldn't for years, and the guy described the car, where the person is, the color, and the person's in the back trunk, and they went and found that. Stuff like that science can't. Or we just use lotteries, many of you. Or the person that had 6 numbers, they dreamt it and they won. Where does that come from? See, stuff like that science can't ever explain. Are you able to channel information, and you know stuff, or you do stuff repeated, you manifest this? Right, those numbers I collapse. I see these numbers, I put them out, and they come out. Now all these numbers come out. At a couple of times, these numbers came out the time I decided to come out, midday or evening, and the day. It was, I remember, Tuesday evening, and it came out the exact way, multiple times. You can't explain that scientifically. So because you can't explain that scientifically, it becomes a personal experience now. You become unique. you become esoteric, I guess. You know, you do it yourself, and you teach people, and then some people get it and some people do it, and that's good. But it just gives you the broader picture to show you how powerful the mind and you are. That if you only can tap into it and focus on it, you become extremely powerful. You can literally change the world. That's it, right? They already know how to manipulate reality, just don't want to have this knowledge. You know what? I agree with that. I do believe that. I mean, think about it though. That would be very powerful. The Matrix. It's sad, but it's true though. That's why a lot of information is just hidden. There's a lot of information out there that is being hidden deliberately from you right now. Information how to manifest the thing I'm teaching you right now. There's stuff that is being hidden about powers you have, the ability to control, manipulate reality, the mind, the heart, the gut, how to connect. All of that stuff is deliberately hidden. Why is it deliberately hidden? Because it's hard to find and research. You gotta jump through leaps and bounds to find that stuff. If it wasn't hidden, it would be easy. You could just do a type and it pops up. So you gotta see the big picture that, okay, few people will get this information, and the few that gets it, they change their life profoundly. That's what I'm teaching. That's what I want people to understand. That's why I create these platforms, because I want to bring an awareness to show people like what's going on, like what really is going on. I want to show you a different side of reality. I want to expand your mind. I want to show you like, look, yo, this ain't you. This all this stuff is not what you think it is. This is like the ability you can produce and have is boggling. That's why I do what I do, because I want to enlighten and spread information to show people like, man, this is the Newtonian world you're experiencing is an after effect of a quantum world. And the more people I can reach and can understand this, the better for all of us, the collective subconscious. Because everyone can benefit. You can change your life. You can do all type of stuff. Can you explain karma? What is it? How it works? Karma is cause and effect, basically. What you do will come back somewhere down the timeline. That's all karma is. What you put out, somewhere down, it must come back around. Remember, we live in a constant ebb and flow universe. Remember now, nothing can ever be created or destroyed. Everything has to circle back around. How to work on the gut. To work on the gut, you have to fortify the gut. You got to take things that build the gut. Got to use probiotics, healthy bacteria. Zinc is good for the gut. Diet, stuff you eat. There's gut health is important, man. 70% of your immune system is in the gut. I don't know if you know that. So, what you put in your body, minerals, vitamins, things that gut health stuff. And one of the most powerful things is zinc. Zinc is good. As I said, the healthy bacteria, probiotics. What else you can do? Intermittent fasting. Food is very, very important. Things like that. So, I knew I could heal our body when I was a kid. I experienced deja vu all the time. Yep. Yeah, many people don't believe in it because it's free and it's too easy. That's a condition of the Matrix. The Matrix is very smart. That's how they get you. That's what I said all the time. I said, when you show people stuff, if it sounds so incredible, they think it's a gimmick. and they think it's too good to be true because they've been so much conditioned to do things the hard way. So see how backwards it is. The Matrix convert people into people that think like, nah, that can't be too easy, man. This guy giving out free information like this, nah, there got to be a catch to this stuff, man. I can't buy that. That's a program. That's how they program you. Systematically done. Oh yeah, okay. This guy talking right here. What? How much is that? $8,000 to get into the course? Okay, yeah, that sounds good now. Yeah, sound like it might work. See that? That's how they get you, man. Yeah, $10,000 manifesting course, and this guy over here just giving free information. I'm gonna go $10,000 course because if it's $10,000, it got to be valuable. It got to be teaching me something. This guy's free. I don't trust it. That's how they get you. That's how it's set up. So, Matrix play people like a piano. Any advice on how to still have a positive vibration every time you lose the lotto? That means you're attached to the lotto. There should, if you're really in alignment to win the lottery, there's no losing in the lotto. It's just next step closer to winning the lotto. So if you're experiencing that, then you definitely gotta do some reconditioning and reapproaching. The lotto is supposed to be fun. There's not a losing ticket. It's just that the manifestation hasn't happened yet. It's supposed to be a fun process. It's not supposed to, the lotto's not supposed to be like your main goal or like all eggs in one basket. The lotto is just another channel, opportunity for you to have fun. People call it money to burn, money to play with, budget money. You know, it's just a thing that you do to have fun and dream, desire it, let it go, be patient, have belief, and you will win. But if you're like, every time check a ticket you feel down or lose, you're attached. It means the lotto is bigger than you. Remember I talk about when something's bigger than you? That's what I mean by that. Nothing should be bigger than you. How can I manifest a tablet? Well, decide what kind of tablet you want. Then visualize every night doing regular stuff with the tablet. Then let it go. And you'll get a tablet. Can you use subconscious to heal the gut? Yeah, the subconscious is your immune. The subconscious does all the healing stuff, yeah. Your subconscious is in every cell of your body. So it's like a totality of a big cell of everything. It's like a community. Yeah, so, okay, so we talk about like healing in the gut. That's all of that stuff is done through the subconscious. That's why when you talk, say stuff about yourself, the cell's body listen. You say, man, I'm so healthy, I'm so strong. You know, like, man, why do I recover so quickly? Why am my immune system so strong? Why am I all that? See, you talk that out loud, the cells in your body hear that. That's a placebo. They believe it, and then you become infused with it. How to build more trust to the universe? By using your imagination and seeing what you want over and over. That's how you build trust in the universe. Also, you can look for evidence in other people. Watch people's stories, see what they did to become successful. See how it works? So the thing is, one thing I noticed though is like the part that's like your health is really important. Like you got to be in a state of like, it's a good feeling. You got to be optimal, man. You got to be at a point where you're able to focus. A lot of stuff can distract you, you know. And I think that I always preach about it. I told you guys before. I said the gut is where you can use the true part to manifest. So if you can focus on things that can like really empower or build your gut, man, like food and nourishments and things that gut health. I mean, it's a game changer. It takes things to a whole nother level. Trust me, guys. I learned that, man. I told you my story, man. When I was a kid, I used to suffer with a lot of gut stuff, man. I was 11 years old, like 10, 11 years old, and I had ulcers. And the ulcer was caused by what is it called? H. pylori bacteria. It's a bacteria that lives in your gut. But in some people, for some reason they don't know why, but for some people, it's a bacteria that lives in your gut. Everyone has it, called H. pylori. But for some people, for some reason, the bacteria has a reaction where it produces more acidity in your gut, which causes the acid to burn in your skin, and your gut starts to bleed. And I was like 10, 11 years old kid, and my mom would take me to the doctor, man. Doctor would always say, "Why is this kid is like too young to be having it?" Back, they thought it was stress because I was in the religion thing, and I just wasn't feeling it, man. So they they gave me this what is it, antibiotic, and it killed the bacteria, and then my gut started to feel better. I was 10, 11, so I didn't know anything. But as I got older, you know, I would always notice like um my gut would affect my reality, like how I feel. And I was like, man, I just don't like how I feel, man. And because I was drinking, like I told you, caffeine and all that stuff. And I was like, man, something ain't right. Certain foods I would eat, would feel good, but after a while, you'll just feel it. So I'm still very sensitive, and that's when I started to tune into my gut. And I was like, you know what, man, I gotta change this. And then something happened. This was about 7 years ago. I had a real bad case, man, of I think I had double food poisoning, man. I think I almost died. I had I drank something that was good, not bad, and I ate something. And that night, I never forget that. I was so sick. Like it was to the point, man. My everything in my gut was destroyed. My bacteria. I'm telling you, it was the worst food poisoning. Storing up for days. After that, I was called what people call retching. Just the memory of it, I would just throw up for no reason and nothing would come out. And I couldn't eat for days and weeks, and it ravaged my gut, man. That was one of the worst times in my life because I sat there and I just wasn't in optimal health, man. I don't know if you know the feeling where you can just sit and you just don't want to be here. You're like, man, I can't explain it, but it was the worst feeling ever. And the good thing about that, though, it made my gut stronger. So because of that bout, my gut became very strong with like, bacteria. And that's when I started to study more and learn more about my gut, man. And when I did that, I said, okay, the gut. Let me target my gut. I revamped everything, changed my diet, studied probiotics, focused on the gut, and that's when everything changed. I started to become more happy, more vibrant, more insight started to come. It was a night and day change, and that's when I was like, man, everything is tied really to my gut, and I just focus more on the gut. See how it works? Yep. So it's you go through stuff in your life. So things. My grandmother would say, "Hey man, what doesn't kill you make you strong," and that's true. Certain things you go through, it just builds you up even more. What kind of food you practice did you use to heal your gut? Yeah, so I started to drink a lot of this herbal tea my mom used to send me. It was like uh, peppermint, and that tea did like really good stuff. Then I started to I started to chew my food really, really good. So, other people would take it 5 minutes to eat, and that takes me like 15 minutes to eat because I understand, how to break down the food now. I got to chew the food until it becomes pasty, so my gut don't have to work hard to digest it. Little stuff like that. Um, drank a lot of water, cut out a lot of sugar. I my diet, I intermittent fast. I mean, my diet changed. I only eat twice a day now. I've conditioned my gut to the point, my body to the point where there's only 2 meals. I'm good. Less is more. Um, things like that. What else? There's a lot of stuff you can do out there to take. Um, but the main ones is just watch what you eat and the diet and the probiotics. Right? So yeah, someone has been food poisoning, so you know what it's been like, yeah. But this was very bad, man. It was. I mean, after this, it took about a year for my to really recover when I had that case. Okay. All right. Who's this guy, man? This guy keep asking questions about my car and all that stuff. Someone answered already. I'm gonna have to remove this guy. People are so thirsty. Um. Yeah, that's the thing. What kind of probiotics? There's tons of probiotics out there in the market. They have organic probiotics you can get, but the ones they have now, they have all the balance of good bacteria. If you're gonna use probiotic, make sure you use one that has at least 50 billion cultures of bacteria minimum. 50 billion cultures. That means about 50 billion microbes in your gut. You want to use those ones. The ones I use, it has over 150 billion gut microbes. So I use those. So that means that, think about it. See how powerful your body is. 150 billion microbes go into your body. You don't even realize that in your gut. These are the good bacteria. That's the probiotics I use. You got different types. You could find different potency. You got 20 billion. That's with a B now, guys. 50 billion and up. Depends, but I think the highest potency I have is 150 billion. So I use those. And yeah, big difference. Big. Everything works. Big. Digestion, enzymes, every single thing, man. Yeah, honey's good for the gut. Um, Yogurt has some of those bacteria, but if you're someone who wants to like get it going, probiotics. Get the ones that are generally your stomach veggie caps. But get the cultures, the correct culture ones are. But the more because what happens when you take these probiotics, you gotta know which ones to take because you gotta get the ones that can get past through the esophagus, get past and get into your gut before most of it get destroyed before it gets into your intestines. So you gotta make sure you get the good ones, man. Is there probiotics that what? Yeah, probiotic. The reason why people suffer from a lot of dairy stuff or what is it called there? Irritable bowel syndromes. They found that majority of people they don't even realize this that they got IBS and they go to doctors and doctors give them all this damn medication. You know what the problem is? Just like with magnesium deficiency in people, the problem is these people don't understand that they don't have enough healthy gut microbes. and the body's out of balance, so your digestive system, bowel system gets crazy. If these people just started to take some, get on some healthy probiotics and change it, their IBS will disappear, man. But of course, they're not going to tell you that, man. What? Treatment is better than the cure. But that's the main cause of all this stuff, is having a healthy gut. So if you're someone that's experiencing like those type of symptoms, look into adding some probiotics to your gut, man. Make a big difference. If you don't know what you want career-wise, but want to be financially free, how do you manifest that or speak to the subconscious? You have to know, you have to have an idea of, okay, if you want to be financially free, you have to know what that looks like to get a message to the subconscious. Anytime you're going to manifest stuff, you have to kind of decide what you want and see an image of what it would look like. Otherwise, you're going to get misinterpretations. Hmm? Do you recommend probiotics from pharmacy? I don't. I recommend like organic stuff. Like find, do research, read. Um, like there's one that I recommend that's pretty good. Um, I can share with you guys. And GNC has it, General Nutrition. It's a pack. I think I don't know. Let me check. Maybe I have no. I used to have the no. I think it's just called GNC probiotic. They got a 25 billion, 50 billion. Those are pretty good because they're in veggie capsules and they work pretty good. They're cultured with the correct bacteria. So if I would recommend something, I would say that GNC one is good. They have different levels. They have the different cultures depending on the level you want to get to. Mm-hmm. How to manifest more sales? Any scripting method? Yeah, if you're gonna manifest sales with scripting, you have to write in the like now. So when you're going to do something like that, you have to write something like, today was great. I had X and X amount of sales. Looking forward, da da da. You gotta put it as if it happened now. Like you gotta write that some in that form. If you're gonna visualize the sales, you have to make sure. Now remember that this is a normal thing. You gotta visualize it as making it normal. Like, okay, I gotta see myself. What does it look like when I'm selling stuff? Okay, maybe if you have a bank account, Stripe account, whatever payment method you have to see things like that. You got to see a computer printout. You have to see something as if it's normal. Like, okay, it's coming in, right? Who's this guy? Ayush. Look, man, what's your name? Ayush Service said, look, if you're gonna come on this live, man, and you're gonna talk and be respected, that's fine. But if you're gonna trip out, I'm gonna have to block you, bro. So if I see you down here again, I'm gonna block you. If it's not nothing positive, I'm gonna block you. That's the thing, man. You ask these questions, man, and you do them so it's like you're doing them out of desperation. You don't do stuff like that. If you want to ask something, ask it positive. Don't ask for desperation. Asking me what kind of car I drive and all that stuff, it's not gonna help you manifest anything, bro. That's all ego stuff. Now, if you ask me, how can I use my mind, Mark? How can I do that? Then I can help you, but you don't do stuff like that. So if you want to come on the live and talk, we can do that. You want to learn some stuff? That's what's up. If not, let me know. I'll block you. All right, moving on. Let me see what else here. Yeah, the thing about like when you want to bring stuff in, guys, Just make it as normal as possible. That's my best advice. Normality, normality, normal. Get it normal. If you can bring it normal, you're gonna get it. And the best way to bring something normal is to look at it like you do like a daily thing, like when you get up or you go to work or you're doing your task. Kind of merge your desires into that type of realm. That's how you're gonna merge it, because remember, your subconscious is not gonna know the difference. So think about what do we do when we get up every morning? Many of us, right? Go to the bathroom, wash our face, brush our teeth, right? We do, to us, that's a normal routine. Make some coffee, drink some tea. Okay, gotta go to work, you do this, drive, whatever, commute. See, those things to you, you don't, when you go to bed every night, do you think about them like, I gotta go tomorrow, I gotta brush my teeth, I gotta do this? No, you just get up and you do them, right? So like, all you do is you merge your manifestation like that. You think about your manifestation, but you think about it like, yeah, it's normal. You see the image, but you don't attach any meaning to it. Like, man, this is gonna be big, I gotta get this, I gotta do that. That's normal, because what that does now, it convinces your mind, it convinces your subconscious that that's a part of your congruency. What I mean by that? So your subconscious now gets convinced that this is a routine of my reality. Remember how the subconscious mind works, right? It works through congruency. It says your thoughts must become congruent with your reality. So the subconscious is always looking to match. So that's how it works. How does gratitude help us manifest? What gratitude does, gratitude creates more abundance, because what it does is it expands the mind, or what's called the RAS, reticular activating system, to look for more things to be grateful for. So like, for example, if you say, oh man, I'm so happy for my life, I'm so happy to breathe, I'm so happy to have this. Many people think that gratitude is, the gratitude means, oh, it's just going to give me more stuff to be happy to breathe. No, 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 that's what it means. It doesn't mean that. It means the brain is going to search out more things to make you feel that way. Think about that. So now if you're feeling like happy and grateful, the universe wants to give you more stuff to make you feel happy and grateful. So what do people get to make them feel happy or grateful? They get money. You're going to get abundance. So that's what gratitude does. See? So it's not what you're grateful for, it's how you feel about what you are grateful for. So, and also another thing about gratitude too, you don't have to give gratitude for what you have. You can give gratitude for what you already want to manifest. So like, say you want to manifest a house. You can get up in your current house and be grateful as if it's a new house. You say, oh man, thank you for my beautiful new home. I love these new walls. I love this in your very current home. See that? So gratitude work on two complex. You can see beyond to your manifestation accomplished, or you can just be regular grateful. If you're manifesting something, be grateful for that thing as if it's already here by using it in now. Now you see a big difference. So when you're going to manifest using gratitude, always be grateful for what you have now and for what you're going to manifest. Bring both of them together in the now. See how it works? That's the power of gratitude. Yeah, anything emotional will always be in your subconscious mind. I work at a bank. How do I trick my mind about seeing money all the time? What? If you work at a bank, you're going to see money all the time. Like, how do I trick my mind about seeing money all the time? I mean, if you're at a bank, don't you see money all the time? So I don't think you need to trick your mind. Do dreams always have meaning? A majority of dreams do. 70% of your dreams have meanings. Do you take any mushroom supplements like reishi or lion's mane? Oh, no. Yeah, if you're in a bank, I mean, the person at a bank has a good advantage because you're seeing money every day. If you're handling different transactions, probably handling thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, customers coming in. So there's no reason you need to trick your mind. The only thing you have to do is just change your perception. So you see the money as an abundance. You don't remember now. Don't make the money bigger. Remember, it's just paper, something we create to give currency. So you just see the money as a tool or a means of exchange, then the money becomes easy for you. The thing about money, man, I think money is the thing that we give so much power to because, let's face it, people want money. They want their lives to change. They want good things. But you got to use the opposite when it comes to money. You got to put money down to bring it up. Remember what I talk about, right? I said if you chase money, money is going to run away from it. And what I said, money has the same view about you as you do about money. So if you think money is hard or it's like tricky, you got to work hard to make it, money's going to say the same thing about you. But if you think money is easy, it's a tool, it's always there, it's abundant, it's finds its way to you, you're good with it, you love having it in and out, flow with you, money's gonna come to you just like that. It's currency, it's not, all those are little tricks of the trade you can do. How do I say that I respect it or what it is mine? Well, you gotta talk to the money. It's your subconscious mind. You gotta say stuff like, wow, money loves me. I love money. Money may help me to make my life and other people's lives better. I am a money magnet. I'm so abundant. I have such a healthy respect for money. Money loves me. Money's always looking for me. I'm a magnet for a huge abundance. Stuff like that. Well, the way I look at money, for me, money is not, for me, money is just freedom and my freedom and time for freedom. So money to me is having the right amount of money is just being able to live life on my terms. That's how I look at money for me. People look at money other ways for them. It can mean this or that. But I mean, the big picture is like you have the ability to get up and do this or do that. And that's it. The right amount of money for me. That's how I look at money for me. I'm like, why do I always have the right amount of money for Mark? For me, and I don't care. You gotta do that for yourself. What is the right amount of money for you? What type of life does that symbolize? Remember, the right amount of money for Mark's life is not going to be the same right amount for your life. You might be different. You might have bigger things, more stuff to do. Mark doesn't have all that stuff. So it's an individual thing, but you got to put money as unique to you. Why do I always have the right amount of money to live the life I desire? See that? So that's Mark's personal thing now. So now in Mark's mind, in Mark's subconscious, Mark's mind knows what desires Mark wants. So in my mind now, my subconscious is going to go out and look for things to help Mark to live the life he desires. And only Mark knows what he wants in his mind. So Mark's going to think about, okay, I want that. That's what I like. And I'm going to get those stuff. Same thing should be for you. You should say, why do I always have the right amount of money to live the life I desire? And then you're going to think in your head, what is the life I like to live? What does it look like? That's when you're going to start to see the change come now, because now you're being true to yourself. See, now you're not fake. See, now your subconscious knows, okay, so we can work with it. This is us. See, what most people do is they try to go get money beyond their own means. Like they jump from like 1,000 to like 2 million. And they know that they don't truly believe it. So their mind just now says, you can't lie to your mind. Your mind's no like, all right, man, you're trying to be fake, man. We can't do that. But if you know, okay, this is what I want, man. I just want to be free. I don't want to work. I want to have my own business. I just want to be able to make just enough so I could enjoy my life, travel, Okay, now you're in your zone. But a lot of people in this matrix do this to you. They try to make you think of like, just get rich quick or just jump for it. Like, oh, man, I made this overnight. Man, you could do da-da-da-da. Man, I was making that, see? And now you jump out of character. You're not yourself anymore. And you're trying. See, now you're trying for the money. Now the money becomes bigger than you, and you're not true to yourself. So if you want to make more, manifest more money, be true to yourself. Ask yourself, why do I have more than enough money to live the life I desire? What would it look like to have enough money to live the life I desire? Only in your mind, you know what type of lifestyle you want. That's what you're going to get. But don't try to go like, man, why do I have millions and millions of dollars? Why do I have that? And you don't even know what you're going to do, what your life look like. See, all these things, in order for your mind to get you something, it has to have a blueprint. It has to kind of know, okay, what is this going to do for us? How is this going to help us? Like, where are we going to, stuff like, you got to give your mind some kind of blueprint. If you don't give your mind some kind of blueprint, it's just going to throw you all over the place. See how it works? That's my advice when it comes to money. That's what I learned from me. So I did that. I was like, man, yeah. So you're gonna have you're gonna have the right amount to be whatever it is you have. You don't have to hit a home run all the time. You can still win the game by going base to base. You don't have to hit the game with a home run. See what I mean? Yeah, and most people, like if you ask a lot of people, like real wealthy people, billions of dollars or whatever, about money, they're not big into money. They're more into like the factor that what it can do to help them. You know what I mean? Yeah, why do I have more than enough money to live the life I desire? Why do I always have more than enough money to live a life of leisure while permanently residing in Southwest Florida? Yeah, that's a perfect affirmation right there. Precise, concise, stuff like that. Mark, I won 45,000 in the South Carolina Cash 5. Congratulations. Using your techniques. I only matched 4 numbers causing a one-off. I held those tickets for 2 weeks. Still playing same numbers. And what is that, 11 million next? Yeah. Now, interesting about that, now that you won that 45,000, now it's going to be easy for you to manifest millions now. Because now your mind is accustomed to seeing a win of 45,000. Now the mind is going to believe like, man, if I could do 45,000, we can do a mill. That's how it skips now, because now you've done it. So yeah, you're gonna manifest 11 million. I guarantee you'll get it, because now your ego is gonna help you because it sees it. So congratulations. Yeah, that technique I put out is good. Speaking about that, my book is coming out. So within the next week or two, it's a lottery book, How to Win the Lottery Using Quantum Physics. So my techniques will be in that book on ebook format. So when I get it up, I'll post a link for you guys, so you guys could go grab a copy. And if you're a lottery person, or just more money, or just using mind to do, then that's the book for you. Do our thoughts control other people? No, but our thoughts can affect other people, but it can't control other people. Is it better to buy the tickets or play online? This is my philosophy. If I can physically go buy my tickets, I go buy my tickets. If you can't physically, if you like to play online, you can play online. It just depends on the person, unique person. It doesn't say now, but just because you buy physically, one's better than the other. I won because I physically buy, but I also know individuals that play online and they won big too. So it's your preference. What feels comfortable for you? What makes you what is the best generator to make you feel the feeling? Buying it online or buying it in person? That's right, Mark. Thanks. It's normal for me to win 11 million in the lottery. Can't wait to be a blessing to you soon, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, it'll happen for you, Christopher. You won 45,000, man. That's very big for your mind. I don't know how if you realize it now, but that's huge. Not for your subconscious, but for your conscious mind. Because now you're going to have so much less resistance with your ego. Because now when you're going to visualize more money, like winning like 1 million or more, you will find less resistance coming from your ego, because your ego will remember, well, damn, this guy, he did win 45, so if he can do it, we can do it. And it brings your subconscious more in alignment. Now, what you want to do now to make this happen, though, now this is a time when you really want to be nonchalant. This is where you really want to act normal now, because sometimes your mind will get into that get rich happy mode. You see, you won 45,000, you want it quick. Don't fall for it like that. Slow and steady is the pace. Just chill. Remember, you won it. It's going to happen. Don't let your mind get hype. Play your numbers. Visualize. See it. And it's going to happen for you. This is a time when you need to be in the flow state even more. And watch, you'll win that jackpot. Is student loan considered manifesting? Yeah, if it's thing that's going to help you, it's manifesting. Any physical copies of the books? I'm working on the physical copies. I'm going to create the physical copies. Okay? That book will be out in another week. Please, can you win a lottery by having to see the winning lottery numbers in your dream while you sleep? No, there's not the only way you can win it. You can win the lottery by just doing quick picks. You let the universe do the work for you. Sometimes your higher self may give you the numbers in your dreams. So, I've done them both ways. I've won them quick pick, and I've done them with numbers that came to me in my dream. But the thing about the lottery is to have this faith to know that you're going to win. And then also that you're not doing this because you need, here's the key, I need money. I'm doing this because it just brings more abundance. It's excited to just win money or abundance. I know it sounds counterintuitive, like I'm not playing the lottery to win the jackpot. I'm just playing the lottery to have fun and just get abundance. That's how you're usually going to win the jackpot, because you have so much less resistance. That's right, Mark. It only took 4 months to win the 45,000. It's now over a year with the same numbers. I know it's already done. Thank you. Yep. So that number, 4 months is a pretty good time. That's what averages takes me about 4 to 6 months when I do those numbers. The longest one it took was 13 months when I collapsed the numbers. But I'll give you another tip here, Christopher. Take out the months and years now. It's gonna become so much easier. So don't eliminate the time now. It's gonna take you to win. Know that you've won before, and know you're just gonna win again. Just sit on it, play it, forget it. Don't think about months, years, and it'll be there before you know it. Lotto's an investment, yeah. I still feel guilty and ashamed when I purchase lottery tickets. You got some more work to do. Means you're attached, your mind don't fully buy into it, don't accept it. Lottery is let the universe pick the easiest method for you. Quick pick. When in doubt, quick pick. If you have a number in your dream, play it. Visualize. Expect it. Release it. Hey Mark, I'm the girl who left a voicemail about losing my job and winning the lottery. I am financially stable now and play weekly by direct debit, so no resistance all times. Thanks for replying. Congratulations, yes. More freedom. How do I know if caffeine is stopping my manifestation? If you feel a lot of nervousness in your gut and just feel like anxiety, unpleasantness, then you might want to cut down on the caffeine. It's definitely affecting your field you're putting out, the energy you're putting out. So it's definitely interfering with the patterns of your vibration, which affects your manifestation. I want to manifest the lottery to leave Texas and have a new start for my 2 daughters. All right, so here's what you do. I wouldn't. I don't manifest it as a desperation to leave. Look at it like I'd like to manifest a lottery for my 2 daughters. So I don't think about leaving Texas. Just do it because you want better financial freedom for your daughters. You will win it that way because you don't have any resistance. Because if you're saying you want to leave Texas, it's saying that I don't like this place. So now you're like, I need to win because I don't like what my current situation is at. You're going to create resistance. But if you say, you know what, for my daughters, it's going to make them feel happy. I can see the look of happiness on their face. Now you become congruent in your reality. See, now there's not like this hate thing going on now. Now you create more better ways to manifest. Mount has been holding these tickets for 30 days straight. Longest I've ever detached. That's good. Go when your mind tells you to go to check them. Mark, when I win, I'll give you my 10%. Yeah, just don't. You can donate to my charity or PayPal. So I just use and create more content. Right. So you guys are seeing how this stuff works, right? Goodness. Mark's looking younger. Have you been manifesting that? Nope. Just your diet, man. Diet. Be happy. And remember, age is a state of mind. Remember, guys. I don't live in like a time world. I don't. So my body reacts to that. I don't like age when people age. A year doesn't. There's no year for me. This is not 22. Even though it's 2022, I logically know that, but my cells, my body doesn't think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It's not that for me. None of that stuff exists for me. So I'm just in the moment, and I just how I feel and what I think is what my body shows. Okay. That's actually true. Caffeine is a plant, is a toxin that plants develop, right, to kill bugs from eating the plant. Now, caffeine does have positive aspects in humans. It can help with certain things, but it's the overindulgence of it that can cause problems. I think I put too much energy on wanting to win the lotto. Yeah, so you got to back off. How to win 10,000 scratch off. Okay, so if you want to win 10,000 scratch off, you have to decide, okay, what games have 10,000, create a budget, visualize what it looked like, look up online the type of scratch off, look up online pictures of 10,000 winners. You'll see people that have pictures there. Use that picture as motivation to visualize it so your mind can get accustomed to see it's possible, and then follow your intuition, let it lead you, and buy the ticket, and you win 10,000. I've tried several times to win the lottery so as to meet my debt payment schedule. Okay, so there's an issue right there. You're trying and you're in debt, and the debt is creating resistance. Don't try to win the lottery to get like clear debt or anything, because you're just going to create more resistance. The lottery should just be an extra vehicle to help you. Don't rely on it fully like it's a lottery or bust. This is the approach you have to have, guys. Desperation is only going to breed more desperation. Remember that. Need is just going to breed more need. Mark, I'm having problems with detachment. Yeah, a lot of people do. It's going to take time, but you have to be focused, and you have to faith. When people are being critical or bullying, are we attracting that ourselves? Do we create our haters with our own mind, or are they really just pushed out? To be honest with you, some of the times, man, when you have haters or bullies, it's just because of something you're doing right that they don't have, and they want to hate. They want to be what you want to be. So it's actually a compliment, man. Haters are a compliment to you because you have something they want to get. Have some good stuff here. People winning good. I've what? Dreamt I won the lottery in a dream. Clerk told me I have to go. I've dreamt I won the lottery in a dream. Gas station where I purchased the ticket. The clerk told me I have to go to the lottery office because it's over 500. So you're gonna win. Yeah, that's a premonition dream. You're gonna win a. You're gonna be a top prize, top tier prize. That's an example of a premonition dream. All right, guys. A lot of these questions, go over to Quantum Chosen One podcast, and then you can come on. If you have Zoom, you could come on and I can talk about them, answer them, or you can leave a voicemail, and I can answer your question live there. Because I have so much questions here, I don't have time now. This live is like going 3 hours. I didn't plan for this. So these questions, I see a lot of good questions. You can go to the Instagram, Quantum Chosen One podcast, DM Sunny with these questions, and we'll use them in our next podcast. I'll answer them for you. Or you can log on with a Zoom link, free Zoom link, or use the voicemail option so we can hear your voice and hear your question. And I can answer all of those for you because I would love to answer all your questions, but I've got no time. So Quantum Chosen One podcast, go there, Instagram, get your questions. It's better so you can have that. And that's it for the live. See you next time.